Hi, I wanted to talk today about dreams again, and specifically a trend that I've noticed over the last months or so, where dreams will have several layers of recurring signs, right? Recurring symbols. And some work on like a small level, like you may find certain objects in the dream, recurring objects, recurring topics that appear. Or it may be slightly bigger, like locations, airports, just all different kinds of places that the dreams may take place in. But then also there seems to be a bigger level of what I can only describe as mountains and valleys, where all of these symbols, in my case, can often happen in a situation which is rising up like a mountain, or going down like a valley, or flat. Although I mostly notice the up and the down. And here the up and the down don't mean, at least I haven't found them to mean, positive and negative. But I'll get to that. Basically, it's as if it's as if the whole of the dream, for example, in a mountain dream, it doesn't necessarily have to be a mountain physically. It could be like you spend most of the dream going up, like you're going up staircases, or you're going up elevators. You are literally climbing a mountain, or you're walking down the street, or you're walking up streets which are slightly slanted upwards. It can be anything. Or just a dream where, the beginning of the dream you're by the sea, but then as the dream progresses you're sort of walking up towards a higher level of the city or something. And then valley dreams would be the opposite. Dreams where it seems like all of the action happens in a situation where you're going down somehow, in some way. You're descending from always on a physical level, so descending down staircases, down slopes, whatever. And as I said, all of the other symbolic content is happening dream after dream, right? But at the same time, the way this symbolic content is shaped physically in the physical dream environment will change from the dream to dream. And of course this is just a claim I'm making now, but I'd be interested to know if anyone else has experienced this, that if you pay attention to this mountain or valley nature of the dream, I start to notice at least that mountain dreams come all together, and sometimes they sort of follow each other. So you sometimes go, like on Monday, imagine it's a weekly schedule of dreams. On Monday you dream that you are with a friend, you're climbing up some staircases. Then on Tuesday you dream that you're some other completely different environment, like a desert, and you're going up a tower or something. And then, third day, some other completely different environment, but it's still the same theme, right? All dreams that week seem to follow this upwards theme. But furthermore, sometimes there seems to be a progression. So there'll be the first dream you're going up a little bit, the second dream you're sort of going up more intensely, and then the third dream already maybe takes place at the top of the mountain. Like maybe the third dream you're already at the top of the mountain, and then you stay at the top of the mountain for a while, and then it starts going down, and you, like the following week, you will get valley dreams. You'll start going down, 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 till you're dreaming of, you know, underground basements or caves or under the sea or any sort of symbol for underground. And then again it rises up. And this is really interesting, and I've been noticing it on and off for the last few months. And I guess I haven't wanted to make a video about it yet because I don't really know what it is, or to what point it is just something that I'm noticing, or to what point it's something that worth discussing. But it seems recurring enough to me to be worthy of at least investigating. Because, as I said before, this doesn't seem to have anything to do with feeling up or feeling down. It seems to be more like a tide. Something different from, like, it reminds me of the shamanic concept of shamanic journeying through the upper worlds and the lower worlds, where it's not that the lower worlds are sad and the upper worlds are happy. It's not like you feel up or you feel down. It's simply two different places, or at least two different representations of the same place. Almost as if, in the same way that our hearts beat rhythmically, maybe our dream life beats rhythmically, but at a very slow rhythm, where for a certain period of the month you're beating the dream upwards towards the mountains, and then it descends down. And depending on which side of the curve you're at, the rest of the dream symbolism, because of course this mountain or valley thing is a very general setting for the dream, then the dream that takes place will be, you know, the usual more specific personal dream, where you'll be dreaming about things that are happening in your life right now, and so on and so on. But I think that depending on whether the dream is happening during a period of mountainness or valleyness, the perspective that the dream offers will be different. That at least is one possibility. That's a possibility if we consider this frequency to be indeed frequent, to be like a rhythmical kind of thing. But as usual, it seems to be so connected to attention and to consciousness that it's hard to tell when it's rhythmical and when it isn't. It appears when you notice it, a bit like a lot of other things in dreams. The second you start focusing on your dreams, you start noticing what's going on. Since the dream is an unconsciously created thing, the second that unconsciously self-creating thing becomes known by the consciousness, by your consciousness, it necessarily changes shape. It's like a dog trying to bite its tail. It's like you're sort of looking at your reflection and you splash your hands in the reflection to try and touch it, to try and become conscious of it. And of course you're going to make it ripple all around. And then the ripples will reflect your face in a different way, and you will try to dive deeper. And it seems like another way of saying, because maybe the problem with the ripple analogy is that it seems as if you're disturbing your dreams by becoming conscious of them, as if somehow the natural state of dreams is to not be known. But I don't think that's the case. It's more as if the more you are aware of the dream, you create a sort of feedback loop where the more it generates itself, the more dream life there is. There's the usual thing, the usual saying, which is very true, that if you keep a dream journal, your dream recall will increase. Right? The more you write down your dreams, the more you'll remember them. I think that's true. But I think that something else is happening. It's not just that by writing down your dreams, you flex your memory muscles and remember more dreams, but also that I think you also stimulate your dream life by becoming conscious of it. So of course, when you don't remember any dreams, you're still dreaming. I'm not saying that, dreams only appear when you're conscious of them, but more that you remember, by writing down, you remember the ones that were unconscious, and furthermore, you create a feedback loop which generates even more dream life. So it's sort of, as I said, it's a very sort of dog biting its tail kind of situation, which just speeds up. So in connection with the mountain and valley dreams, as you start noticing the change in terrain in the dreams, it becomes more prominent in the dream. And that's why another theory that could be said is that maybe it's not necessarily cyclical, but that so before I said that, maybe while you're having a mountain or a valley dream, depending on what dream you're having, like depending on what state your dream life is, if it's on the mountain state or on the valley state, the dreams you have during that week will be affected by the valley-like nature of those dreams. But the opposite could also be said, that maybe you have a mountain period of dreams specifically because of the content of the dreams. So maybe when you're going through a certain moment in your life, when you're dreaming a lot about certain things, maybe those certain things are all drinking from the fountain of the archetype of ascent or mountainness. And then maybe certain dreams are drinking from the descent archetype, and they generate this sort of valley in your dream life. But here, I think it's worth mentioning how this, in my experience, and it's something that I can't really prove this or convey this, but it seems to me that these periods are also connected to how you feel, not emotionally, but for lack of a better word, energetically during your daily life. So that this is something that I would have never felt if I hadn't started meditating. I think it's something that you feel more when you have some sort of meditative practice, whatever it may be, which is being aware of how charged up with energy you are. And by energy, I mean really the most abstract sense of the word. So, I mean both from from the physical sense of like your body is tingling and it feels like you have a lot of physical energy, like you could run and and dance and scream, and like you have a lot of energy that you want to release, and also from the that kind of connects with the psychological sense, in that when you have so much energy that you would want to run and jump, usually that goes connected with also a desire to create, to think, to express. So it's like there are moments when you have a lot of energy that you want to push out and create, express, push that energy out in some way, be it physical or creatively. And then there are times when you feel much more empty of energy. But that's not a negative thing, how, the words are sort of used that way in culture, but empty more in the sense that energy is not flowing out of you, but is flowing into you, because you're like an empty receptacle. So those are the moments, for example, where you want to read. So before, you wanted to write, you wanted to release all this energy out. But then there's other moments where you can't even think of writing. You want to read, you want to absorb other people's ideas, you want to listen to your friends, you want to discover new movies, new things. And again, in the physical counterpart, we'll probably stay at home, sit down, do more relaxed kind of things. So it seems like these two states of energy flowing out and in are connected to you having mountain dreams or valley dreams. At least that seems to be my experience so far. That when you feel really charged up with energy, the dreams you have during that period tend to be ascent dreams, where you're going up, up, up somewhere. And then the moments in your life where you want to listen and absorb, you're sort of descending down into the caves in your dream life. So, anyhow, I'd just be interested to hear anything more about this. I don't know if it's something that's already well known by other dream investigators or occultists or whatever, but I think it's very interesting. As a final thought, I'm also sort of considering the idea that this could be related in some way to the phases of the moon, but this is just at the moment an idea. But it does seem to me that the body's internal clock is very much connected with the the body's internal clock kind of exists because of the sun and the moon, right? Because of the amount of times that we have, as a species, lived through the passage from day to night. So in a sense, it wouldn't surprise me if this kind of cycle of creativity and receptivity were also linked to the day and the night at a wider scale, as in, the phases of the moon, the 4 seasons, something like that. Which would also, be very interesting in connection to why certain dates are considered important in pagan cultures and things like that. So, yeah, just some thoughts on that. Thanks for listening.